In this video, we'll be taking apart the Lava Agni 3. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this, make sure you subscribe and click on the notification bell so you'll be notified once I upload a new video. Also, if you need any tools, there are links in the description. First, we'll need to remove the SIM tray. Looking at the SIM tray, we can see a red rubber gasket around the opening. Now heat needs to be applied to the back plate using either a hairdryer or a heat gun to loosen up the adhesive underneath, and then a pry tool can be used to pry the back plate off. I prefer to use a hairdryer since there's less of a chance of damaging any of the components inside by overheating them. Once the back cover is loose from the frame, it can be lifted from the bottom to the top, but be careful since the flex cable for the back screen is still attached to the main board. Here's a look at the glass back plate. The camera bezel and back screen assembly can be separated from the back cover. There's an adhesive strip around it which secures it to the back. There are also 5 Phillips screws, which are securing this back plastic piece to the metal backing of this screen. So you'd be able to remove those screws and pry off the plastic backing to separate it from the metal plate. But in most cases, you're probably going to be replacing this entire piece as one unit. At this point, there are 15 Phillips screws which need to be removed. The dual LED flash is located on this plastic cover, as well as graphite film to help transfer heat. The battery cables can now be disconnected, followed by the rest of the cables. The coaxial cables can also be disconnected by just popping them off. There are 2 Phillips screws which are holding down the main board. Looking at the main board, we can see an 8 megapixel telephoto lens, the 50 megapixel primary camera, as well as an 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera. The main camera is the only camera with OIS or optical image stabilization. As for the camera connectors, those can be disconnected by just popping them off. There's a secondary microphone on the top, and some graphite film over the shield to help transfer heat. There is also a liquid damage indicator sticker, which is that white sticker located on the side. Looking at the other side, we see the 16 megapixel front facing camera, the proximity sensor located next to that, copper film or tape behind the cameras, as well as a lot of thermal paste and graphite film over the back shields to help transfer heat. Once the graphite film and copper tape have been peeled back, we see a thermal pad which is seated on top of the RAM and processor. Once the thermal pad has been removed, we have a better look at the RAM and processor. Here's a look at the bottom speaker assembly. And there's a mesh filter over the opening of the speaker. To remove the battery, there's a pull pouch to help you pry it off. Here's a look at the 5000 mAh battery. Once the battery is removed, we can see the flex cable for the screen, which is routed through an opening in the mid-frame, as well as this flex cable which connects the main board to the subboard. So if you needed to replace the screen, you'd have to remove the back plate, the screws on the top plastic cover and the cover itself, disconnect the battery cables and the screen cable, pry the battery off, giving you access to the screen cable, at which point you'd heat up the front of the phone where the screen is to loosen up the adhesive underneath, pry the old screen off, apply new adhesive, and reapply the new screen, making sure you run the flex cable back through the opening in the mid frame, and reassemble the phone. As for the copper vapor chamber, we can see it over here in the cutout, and it runs underneath the motherboard, as well as this side of the battery all the way down here. I'm not sure if you can see the bottom edge of the vapor chamber on the camera, but you can slightly see it through this hole over here. Taking a look at the subboard, we see the charger port located here, with a red rubber gasket around it. And the primary microphone is located underneath this covered shield. There is also another liquid damage indicator sticker located here. The SIM reader is located on the other side. Once that's removed, we have a better look at the vibrator motor located here. And next to that is the fingerprint scanner. To replace either of those, just apply some heat and gently pry them off. So for this phone, if you're to accidentally insert the SIM ejector tool in the wrong hole, you won't need to worry since both the filters and the microphones on the top and bottom are seated above the hole so they won't get damaged. To replace the flex cable on either side for the buttons, just gently peel it off from the frame and pull it out of the socket. As for the earpiece speaker located on top, that's also held on with some adhesive. To replace that, just apply some heat and gently pry it off. For the repairability score on this phone, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Now it's time to put the phone back together. Once you applied new adhesive and reapply the back cover, flip over the phone, power it on, and you're done. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.